there have been a lot of great quarterbacks play here at Bethany College. There's no doubt that a lot of people would put this man at the top of their list. And in addition to playing quarterback for the Swedes, he also served as our offensive coordinator for a while. It is my honor to introduce Mark Agers.
I did bring my coat, and I carried it up here just to show you, Coach, that I was going to dress for the occasion, but it feels like this is one of those alumni, let's bring the alumni together and try to raise some money kind of things. And then we need air conditioning. Let's get some air conditioning in this place. What's going on? Right? So all you big money guys out there, be ready for the call. Ted called me December 22nd said, hey, can you well, first of all, when Ted calls, you guys know, some of you guys know, most of you guys know, as the years go by, it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be, Mark, can you call? I got a quarterback in the area that, I would like you to talk to. Can you give him a call? Sure, Coach. Get his name and number. You make a phone call, talk to somebody. Well, that's 2003. He's not coach anymore. So then I'm thinking, okay, what else would it be? And the only other thing, you guys, what would it be? Money. Thank you. He's calling for money. You haven't gotten that money call yet? You guys are too young. Some of you guys are too young. So he said, it's December 22nd, 6:29 p.m. When Ted calls, what do you say? Well, yeah, I'll say a few words. So I had just poured a bowl of soup, crackers, drinking a Goose Island. Monday Night Football, the Broncos were playing the Bengals. Had a little surgery, so I was just sitting at home, kind of a reflective mood. And actually, I'm going to be very honest with you, this is a 3-page talk, okay? And he told me I have anywhere from 2 to 20 minutes. Then today he said it's only 4 minutes. So I said, okay, I got 3 pages, so if you see me flipping pages, you know where we're going here, okay? But he definitely said keep it on the shorter end. So here's the deal. You come to places and you listen to people talk, and I'm in education, I'm a middle school principal, been to a lot of conferences, a lot of this and that. You guys in the business world, professional world, you go to conferences, you're listening to this and that. And I thought there's one of two things. What am I going to say to this group? That there's a variety of individuals from a lot of different areas in the country. What's going to be meaningful? So one thing popped into my head. Well, I could just, why don't you guys talk? I'll give you 3 minutes, talk amongst yourself. You ever at a conference and they do that? Sit and talk amongst yourself? Well, we could do that. We're not going to do that, okay? So the second thing I thought, well, let's make this participatory. All right, let's get you involved. So here's the deal. The next 3 pages, I have nothing to say except questions, okay? It's only questions. So you participate, you can participate to the level that you'd like to participate. You can raise your hand, you can nod, you can, gag, whatever, okay? Here we go. Questions. These are all just questions for reflection. Who lived in Deer East? Who lived in Deer West? Who lived in Werner? Who went to the Emporium and played pool? Some of you younger guys may not have done that. Who went to Swede's Pizza? I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm not as young as Mr. Swisher. Who ate or drank at the Brunswick? Who worked for Bob Berg at the Brunswick? Who ate and drank at Old Stuga? Who played pool at the Union? I learned pool from Wolfie and Margaret. Who went to church in Salina? Who was a backup? Who was a starter? Who played their heart out for our coaches? Who ate at Russell's at 3 in the morning and didn't pay? You're out there, I know that. Who drove to Hutchinson to get Taco Bell? 45-minute ride because it was the only Taco Bell around. Who knew Mogi before he left town for a bit? Did Mogi ever mention your name in a newspaper article? How many have let Mogi know that we love him? We heard New Talk. I was going to ask who heard New Talk, but you guys all heard New Talk today, so we'll skip that one. But who was in love with Newt's nurse? Who played D-line for Newt's nurse? Anybody play D-line for Newt's nurse? How about a round of applause for Marv Anderson? I'm still on page 1. We got to move this along, okay? Who has sons that have played for Ted? Anybody have sons that have played for Ted? Anybody have sons that have played for BC? Outstanding. Who thought Coach Sambo, oh wait a minute, hold on. Who has gotten called out by Coach Sambo in film session? How about Coach Dodge? Get called out by Coach Dodge? Who thought Coach Sambo knew everything? Who realizes now that Coach Sambo does know everything? Colorado, who's from Colorado? Who's from Arizona? Who's from California? Who's from New Jersey? Who's from Arizona? People from all over the country, Coach. You've touched a lot of people. Who dressed in lockers with no air holes? Those are fancy lockers over there. You guys know that, right? Those are the fancy ones. We had those. We didn't have those. Who loved George Stevens? Who lifted weights when they were at Bethany College? Good job. Who didn't lift weights? Who had a bathtub full of beer in Warner for after the game? Who has been to Coronado Heights? Who has done something illegal at Coronado Heights? Who loved home game, pregame warm-ups with 80 to 90, 100 players breaking down in unison? Who thought we won the game in pregame warm-ups? Who named a child after a teammate or a coach from Bethany? Who has played golf with Coach Daniels, with Ted, with Gary? Anybody seen him cheat in golf? Yeah. This is my one personal story here. Who threw up on Big Cat's? You guys know who Big Cat is? Bruce Nelson. Who threw up on Coach Nelson's shoes? Freshman year, going to Colorado College. I'm the 4th string quarterback. We're in pregame warm-up, we're ready to run out of the field. I threw up all over his shoes, right in the end zone. Who was made to feel welcome and completely at home when they first arrived to BC? Who made lifetime friendships at Bethany College? I'm on page 2, we're going quicker. Who has seen things happen in a Swede game that they just could not believe? Now I was going to tell the story, real quick story, but Kent stole it from me today. But the Vinny story is a classic, okay? Vinny Hernandez limping out against KW, and I'm telling this for the ladies in the audience that weren't there today for the story. Vinny Hernandez, Vinny's not in the room, is he? Vinny was a great football player, could fly. He limps out to the wide receiver spot. We're winning the game, end of the game, should run the clock out. Coach Daniels says to Kenny Monk, call the play, tell Vince to go long. He does, we score, and then, as Kent told today, we kicked off to him, and the ball went in the end zone, and we fell on it for another touchdown, and that's the best. And since then, Coach Kessinger's relationship with the Kansas Wesleyan coach has been the best it's ever been, I'm sure. Who gets coach's emails? Who looks forward to coach's emails? Who wants to help coach write his emails? Who wore football cleats bought by Bethany College? Did you notice nobody raised their hand there? You notice it. Who paid to get beaten up and yelled at on the football field at Bethany College? Who paid to do what we did? Yeah, we all did. Who made their shuttle run times? Who had a timer cheat so you could make the shuttle run time? Come on, be honest now. Mark Chandler, he saved me. Who can still touch their toes in a stretching routine? Who could never touch their toes in a stretching routine? Who has been to the Lynchburg Quarterback Club's weekly meeting who thought they were just a bunch of old guys? Who thinks they are the old guys, but now we know we're one of those old guys, and who realizes that those old guys really had a lot of wisdom, a lot of wisdom. Who has really listened to a speech given at our pregame meals? You have. I know you have. Who can still tell a story from one of these talks? I know I could tell a bunch. Who heard Stan do row car, stow car? Who'll never forget Stan? Who heard Andy Carlson's dad, Bill, give a talk at pregame? Very meaningful. I can remember those thoughts, Bill. Who has someone in this room that they talk about and tell stories about with other people? Do you? I think we probably all do. Who's watched Ron and Ken make a dollar horse? I'm midway through the second page. I'm moving faster. Who bought a dollar horse? Is Ken here? Ron? Kenny Sugar? He's not here, is he? Super supporter of Bethany football. Who never drank Coors until they came to Lindsborg? Who has lived in a town with one blinking stoplight? Who allows their sons to coach at a conference rival? I don't know how that happens. That's painful. Judge B. Anderson. Who knew Judge B? Anybody know Judge B? Who's been in his courtroom for the wrong reason? Come on now. We love Judge. Who has made the drive to Marquette for hard liquor? Who has rolled into Mark Lysell as he worked the chains at a Swedes game? Who has rolled into Mark as he worked the bar at the old Stuga? Who's had a Stuga sandwich? Anybody had a Stuga sandwich? Every Wednesday for many years. Who married someone you met at Bethany College? Who's still married? That's a terrible question. I did this a long time ago, so. I was going to say, who's married to someone who's still, no, okay, never mind. Who has teammates at their weddings? Who's had teammates at your weddings? Who loved beating KW? Friends. And then the blank, fill in the blank, it's anybody. Who played an NAI playoff game, national playoff game? Who won an NAI national playoff game? Super job. Who remembers the van rides? Who rode the Blue Goose? Who was on the bus when the Blue Goose broke down? Who got into coaching because of the men they'd come to know as Swedes? Who has coached in one of Ted's summer camps in some small town in Kansas? Anybody done that? Who has made a decision in their lives based upon the voices of coaches and teammates ringing in your ears from your days at Bethany? Last page. Who lives a more virtuous life because they were a Swede? Whatever you define as virtuous. Who can still smell the locker room? Who remembers the first hit? The halftime Diet Pepsis. Halftime Diet Pepsis. We drank halftime Diet Pepsis. The bad steaks on the way to Dodge City. The post-game orange prayer. Who wouldn't change anything in the world for the experience they had as a Swede? Relationships are key. Shared relationships are key. Positive relationships with positive shared experiences make for lifelong memories. Thanks for letting me be here today. I'm honored to be a Swede. I'm honored to have played and coached with Ted and all the great players and coaches at Bethany. Have a great evening.